Jerusalem Talmud, Tractate Challah, Venice 3:1. Vilna 15a. Halacha. One may eat a snack from the dough. Rabbi Chagai said they taught only as a snack, but as a meal it is forbidden, since he would use a subterfuge to free it from Challah. Rabbi Yossi said, if that were the reason, one could not infer anything, since even if he takes from it 2 or 3 pieces of dough, since he will return the remainder to something not fully processed, it is permitted, following what Rabbi Yossi said in the name of Rabbi Zera, Rabbi Jonah, Rabbi Zera in the name of Rabbi Elazar, even what is in a flask did not become tevel, in case it was not fully processed, since he would put it back in the end. That means he who cannot process impurity because he is unable. Therefore, if he is able, this does not apply. This means that it is forbidden for a person to make his dough kav-sized. For all other things, one goes after compacting. If one made a dough from wheat and rice, after what do you go? After rolling or after compacting? Rabbi Yehoshua stated, Challah in a form, after it was rolled for wheat flour or compacted for barley flour. Rabbi Elazar in the name of Rabbi Yehoshua, after it was well formed. Do they differ? One is for practice, the other for study matters. It was stated, Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira says, after it was made into separate cuttings. What is Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira's reason? Numbers 15:20. You shall lift it like the heave of the threshing floor. Since heave of the threshing floor is taken after the end of processing, so this also is taken after the end of processing. Then after it was baked, Rabbi Mataniah, it is compared to heave only for dough making. Rabbi Yossi in the name of Rabbi Shimon ben Lakish. This is Rabbi Akiva's, as we have stated here. If somebody took challah from a single kav, Rabbi Akiva says it is challah. But the sages say it is no challah. Rabbi Akiva said that only for the past, maybe for the start. Here we deal with the start. Rabbi Jonah, Rabbi Chia, in the name of Rabbi Shimon ben Lakish, they follow the manner of Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Yochanan said, it is everybody's opinion, since when she starts pouring the water, it is, per Numbers 15:20, the beginning of your doughs, as it was stated, tevel, tie that was mixed with profane food, makes it forbidden in the minutest amount. If it can be taken care of from another place, one gives in proportion. Otherwise, Rabbi Elazar ben Arach says he should give a name to the heave of the tithe and lift it by 101. Rabbi Jacob ben Jabul, in the name of Rabbi Hanina, practice follows Rabbi Elazar ben Arach. Rabbi Yochanan said what they taught the Kohanot implies that practice does not follow Rabbi Elazar ben Arach. What did they teach the Kohanot? This challah for this dough and the sour dough in it, for the flour contained in it, and for the flat bread under it. If all these counted together, the amount in my hand shall be dedicated as challah, except what might be impure in it. She says, except for what might be impure? Could it not be lifted by 101? Rabbi Jonah said, Rabbi Samuel from Cappadocia and one of the rabbis, one said, in the case there is enough to lift, in the other case there is not enough to lift, since it would have been expected to be lifted, it as if care might be taken of it from another place. Rabbi Yossi said the statement is reasonable on Sabbath eves, since everybody is bringing. It is as far as it is as if she separated from what is obligated for what is obligated. From what is obligated for what is obligated. But on weekdays, while they instituted that Challah may be taken from pure for impure and not earmarked, but from what is exempt for what is obligated, Rabbi Jonah said it is only reasonable on weekdays, but on Sabbath Eve, she would have to say all including the impure. Why? Since some dough is taken before all is one mass, when all is made into one mass, the former is sanctified as challah. If one would say except the impure contained in it, it would turn out that impure tevel is mixed with challah. If you say all including the impure, it is impure profane. Therefore, it is better to give from what is exempt for what is obligated to avoid impure tevel mixed with challah. Rabbi Samuel ben Udemon said, does it not become dedicated retroactively? Since it is dedicated retroactively, it is as if one gave from what is obligated for the obligated. Why, on condition that there not be 5 quarters of flour? Rebbe said the Mishnah was formulated before they instructed the Kohanot. Venice 3:2. Mishnah: if the dough became dema before it was rolled, it is exempt, since dema is exempt from Challah. If a doubt of impurity arose before it was rolled, it may be processed in impurity, but after it was rolled, it must be processed in purity. Halacha: Rabbi Jonah said, the elder Rabbi Chia stated 2 contradictory things: that tevel is counted with profane food, and that every doubt invalidates heave and disables profane food from becoming heave. This is difficult. If tevel is counted with profane food, why should it disable profane food from becoming heave? That means it is counted with heave. Rabbi Jonah said, we also have stated both statements. We have stated here, if tithe food was prepared with a fluid and a tevul yom, or unwashed hands touched it, one still may in purity take heave of the tithe from it, because it is of the 3rd degree. This implies that tevel is counted with profane food, but every doubt invalidates heave and disables profane food from becoming heave, as we have stated there. If a doubt of impurity arose before it was rolled, it may be processed in impurity, but after it was rolled, it must be processed in purity. Rav Sheshet said, this follows Rabbi Akiva, since Rabbi Akiva said he should make it in impurity and not make it single kav. Rabbi Zera said it is the opinion of everybody that in a case of doubt he should make single kabim. Rabbi Chia bar Abun objected before Rabbi Zera, did we not state this applies also to other kinds? Can you say she should make single kabim in cases of doubt? Rabbi Zabida said, I asked that. Rabbi Yossi, in the name of Rabbi Hila, it is the law that a person may make his tevel impure by biblical standards, as it is written in Numbers 18:8. I put on you the watch over my heaves. Heave has to be watched. Tevel does not have to be watched. How do I confirm? Numbers 18:28. You should give from it the eternal heave to Aaron the priest. You have to give it to Aaron in his quality of priest, but here, since you cannot give it to a Kohen in his quality of priest, you may make it impure. Venice 3:3. Mishnah: if she dedicated her dough and redeemed it before she rolled the dough, it is obligated. If she dedicated before she rolled, the temple treasurer had it rolled, and then she redeemed it, it is exempt, since at the moment of obligation it was exempt. Parallel to this, if somebody dedicated his produce before the time of tithes and redeemed it, it is obligated. After the time of tithes, it is obligated. But if he dedicated it before it was fully processed, the treasurer finished it, and then the owner redeemed it, it is free, since at the time of obligation it was free. Halacha. And why is it stated twice? Rabbi Huna, Rabbi Chia, Rabbi Joshua ben Levi, in the name of Rabbi Pedaiah. One for smoothing, one for the third. One for 1/3. Rabbi Yossi said, Rabbi Abba and the colleagues say one for smoothing, one for 1/3. Rabbi Abba explains, at Challah for smoothing, at Peah for 1/3. Our Mishnah is from Rabbi Akiva, since Rabbi Akiva said that you go after the first third, and they deferred. A field that was 1/3 ripened in the possession of a Gentile, and a Jew bought it after that time. Rabbi Akiva said the additional growth is free, but the sages say he is obligated for the additional growth. How is that? Explain it either for Rabbi Akiva in a disagreement, or according to everybody if he harvested immediately. And now we are approaching Venice 3:4 and 11:10, 11:12, 11:13, 14, 15, 11:16. Ginon.